Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thanks so much for joining me today for my August setup in my Papertess Designs B6 planner. I am still happily in my Elysian Paper cover. This is an old charm from Baumkuchen, and this is a thank you card from Mei Illustrations. Nothing has really changed in here at all since my last flip through. Oh, actually, one thing has changed. I realized that my most successful indexing was done in one of my Leuchtturm bullet journals. And the way that they have their index set up is that they have the topic first, and then every time you have a notes page or an entry or a collection that belongs in that topic, you just add that page number, or for me in this particular planner, I add the date. And so you can find them all in one kind of category or topic. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this. I'm sure there are bullet journal videos that are much more helpful. But anyways, I obviously haven't gone through and filled it out, but I know for me, I will put brain dump here, and then I already have a few brain dump entries that will go right along with that. So just an easier way for me to find some of my pages. And all I've done here is taken a dot grid page from my Rhodia pad and cut it to size and tipped it in with washi tape. So we'll see if I actually use this one more, but I'm hopeful. I'm up to date here, so my cycle, my social media numbers, and the videos that I've posted. Still haven't touched these pages at all. Then we have my word and quotes for the year and my monthly color palette. So let me grab my Post-it here. And let's add in August's color. So for August, I'll be using the Tombow dual brush pen in 910. If you haven't seen me use the Post-it before, I saw this tip in a Facebook group years and years ago, and it just helps to make a clean edge, if that's something that you care about. Usually I don't. When I'm doing my daily highlighting, I don't bother, but I do like how it looks in a spread like this. And if I wanted to get really fancy, I could do it on both sides to have a very kind of sharp swatch, but I just do it at the end so that it doesn't pool. And I'm not sure at the moment what this color is called, but to me, it's kind of a peachy orange, which feels like the summer as it starts to come to a close. And I can't believe I'm already talking about that. Right now, it's the end of July as I'm filming, but I know August is just going to fly by. So let me just add in the number here. I'm using my Le Pen Technical Drawing Pen in the 0.03 for this. And that's all I do in these front pages. So before we move into the August setup, let's close out July, which means filling in my monthly reflections. This is always one of my favorite practices at the end of each month, to reflect on the things that I did, the things that I enjoyed, and put them in here for some memory keeping to look back on. So in July, I read Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, and I really, really enjoyed that. I've had that book on my shelf for years. I had heard about it ages ago from Hannah at a Clockwork reader, and I bought it, but I had never picked it up, so I thoroughly enjoyed it and am still thinking about it. In July, I've been watching the Blue Jays, of course. I did a Marvel rewatch, a partial Marvel rewatch. And the most recent episode of The Great British Baking Show, season 13, finally came to a streaming service in Canada. I have been waiting for months, so I have been watching that, and it's so exciting to be back in the tent. That show is one of my ultimate comfort shows. So watching Jays, Marvel movies I'll put, and The Great British Baking Show. I haven't really been listening to anything specific this month. On Spotify, I've been listening to the Calvin Harris radio channel, I guess. I listen to that while I clean and do chores, so let's put that in here. I've been having fun creating or just adding some different spreads throughout my pages. You'll see when I do my July flip through, sometimes I'll just print off an image that's speaking to me and put it in, or I have a spread where I wrote down some of the chapter names from the book I read. So I'm just going to write creating, maybe I'll call it spontaneous spreads in my planner. Because I am a creature of habit, I do tend to stick to the things that I know I like and that work for me. But I have been letting myself try things that I want to, and so far, so good. Creating spontaneous spreads in this planner. Learning. So July has been a rough month anxiety-wise for me. So I have had the chance to put in practice a lot of the strategies that I've learned in therapy and on my own over the years. So I think I'll just write learning that I can feel the fear and do it anyways. Along with that, I'm going to put that I am releasing self-recriminations. I am welcoming some trust in myself and my ability to cope. What else? I have been celebrating the summer with some swimming. I'm grateful for the time I have been able to spend with loved ones this summer. And I'm inspired to keep reading intentionally. I know I've mentioned, but a lot of times in the evenings, I will just pick up my Kindle and read something to escape. Usually it's a romance, and there's nothing wrong with that. I thoroughly enjoy it. But it's also nice to look at the books on my shelves, remember why I'm interested in each one, and then just choose one to read based on my mood. And I call it intentional too, because the default for me is so often to just scroll on my phone that I will usually tell myself, hey, instead of doing this, let's pick up that book. So I am looking forward to that. I haven't chosen my next read yet, but I definitely have a lot of options on my shelf. So that is my moving into July spread, which I do at the beginning of the month, and there we have my July reflections. I'm still using my Pilot Acroball in the 0.5. I have used this pen since April when I started in here, and it works for me. Knock on wood, this pen hasn't skipped at all for me. It's a ballpoint pen, and because of the way that I write, my hand is all over the page. So I often have trouble with ballpoint pens skipping, I think because of the oils on my hands. So this hasn't. It has the black, blue, and red ink, and it also has a pencil that I can use in a pinch if I need to. Let's flip to August. So my monthly calendar is very basic, the way it's been throughout the year, and honestly, it's working for me. Oh, actually, I did try something in July just to see if I could be a little bit more intentional about my Instagram feed. I kept up with it for a little while, but then it fell off. So I might try it again this month. We'll see how it goes. But I just like that I had this space to do this. So I always future plan in pencil in case anything needs to change, and I just jot it in quickly if I'm on the phone making appointments or anything. I will ink some of these things in pen. I do have my brother's baseball games in here. I leave those in pencil. And what else? I go through at the beginning of the year and write in all the birthdays. And I also put down the holiday stickers. These ones are from Planner Monkey Co. So appointments, I always ink in red. We have 10 o'clock on the 1st. I like my appointments to be on the top line just because they jump out at me. And I do my triangle as my signifier, and I will color it in once the appointment is complete. So we have this appointment. I have the dentist on the 15th, 9:40. And I have an appointment on the 28th at 4:30. I do also have all of these appointments in my Google Calendar on my phone, which is set to remind me 24 hours before each appointment and then 1 hour before each appointment. I like to make sure there's very little chance of me missing one. And I also have a wedding that I'm going to in August, so I will put that in blue, which is what I use for special events or occasions. I like to do those on the second line, so I'll draw a sparkle for that. and just put my friend's initial and wedding. And that is my monthly setup. Very simple, very functional, and it works really well for me. I know I've said this before, but one of my favorite things about this planner is having the months embedded throughout the year. And so because I put my tabs for each month right on the calendar itself, I like that I flip to this and just have a glance, even if it's not necessarily an intentional, okay, what's happening this month? Just flipping by this all the time as a baseline keeps things fresh for me. So I find that helpful. And now we have the spread here, so we can set up the reflections and the moving into August spread. I'm not sure yet how I want to set it up, so let's look at some of my past ones. Oh, this one I did all in one spread. I do like how clean this looks. I wonder, yeah, I'm probably leaning more towards something very, very simple this month. This was fun too, playing with this lettering style. I did enjoy that. I'm a little bit torn between these two, but okay, this was calling to me first, so let's do something similar to this. I can see that I definitely used my Post-it here, and I've done the 1 letter per square. Okay. Let's get going with that. So I will probably use my N89 for the highlight. And how do I want to do this side of the page? Let me see last month's. So last month I made a mistake and put in a prompt I didn't need to, so I just need these 1, 2, 3. Let's do this side first. So I know I will highlight for the headers. That was a terrible highlighting job. And I finally wrote out my prompts on a Post-it that I can keep in here, so I don't have to flip back and forth all the time. I'm going to use the Le Pen Technical Drawing Pen in the 0.05. And like I said, I'm just going to write 1 letter per square to keep it nice and clean looking this month. Okay, I do like that. Guess that's what I'm feeling this month. So now I will go ahead and write in my questions for my looking ahead prompts. So what would make this month fun? What would make this month satisfying? And how do I want to feel at the end of the month? I don't usually write these prompts in the same way, doing 1 letter per square, but I have a lot of space, so I'm going to try it this month and see if I like it. Maybe I will do a little bit of hand lettering just for the word fun. I don't know if I'll like that or not. I guess we'll find out. I don't know. Let's keep going. I'm liking how this looks. I'm trying to keep my hand lettering kind of minimal and even as well to go with the whole vibe. Okay, that looks nice. I like that. Let me write in the titles too. I'm just going to do the exact same style. So even though I'm using the same 0.05 pen, it looks thicker when I've already laid the highlighter down, which is why for these ones here, I did the writing first and then I will highlight it once I'm done this spread. Okay, I realized that my answers to these prompts don't really change all that much from month to month. And I thought about trying to switch up the prompts and see if there was a different style, but I didn't find anything I liked better than this. And I realized that it's okay that I want to enjoy the same things and kind of feel the same way. This just gives me a place to come back to that and remind myself of the things that I enjoy, the things that make me feel a sense of mastery or are satisfying to me. So we will carry on with these. So what would make this month fun? So in August, we have some family visiting, so hopefully family time will be fun. I'm going to put baseball, both the Jays season as we head towards hopefully October baseball, and my brother's baseball will also end in August. So I'm just going to put baseball. Reading is also something that has brought me a lot of pleasure lately. Oh, celebrating my friend's wedding. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to put connecting with friends. That is always a highlight for me. Now, what would make this month satisfying? I'm going to put reading intentionally. I know that's already a goal of mine. I also want to work on my sleep hygiene because I have gotten into some not great sleeping habits lately. Keeping up with my YouTube schedule is always something that makes me happy, so let's put that. And I think I'm going to write playing in my journal because I have started slowly getting into my Hobonichi A6. It has not been consistent, and that's okay, but I just want to be in it in any way for any amount of time at this point. So playing in my journal. And how do I want to feel at the end of the month? I want to say steady, and I think that's what I put last month. So maybe I flipped through it and it's still speaking to me. It is, but that's what's speaking to me. So that's what I'm going to put. There we go. Now let's do the highlighting. So I'm not sure, do I want to highlight only to the end of each word or do I want them all to be even? I'm really feeling that very clean and minimal look this month, so let's do that. So I'm just lining it up with my longest prompt here, and then I will highlight. In the past, I've done this highlighter swatch twice just to make it a little darker, so let's see how I like it. It's smearing a teeny bit because it could use some more dry time, but that's okay. I'm too lazy to wait. And I'm just gonna do one highlight. Satisfying, right? And what do I think? Do I want to do any highlighting over here? Let's try it. I'm a little concerned about it, but we'll give it a go. Looking at it, I wish I had put the on the second line here just so I could kind of stop my highlight here, but we will see. Okay, because of the hump here, I'm going to have to turn it and highlight this way. So I need to go from this first line, and I think I'm going to do the 2 lines. Yeah, this will be interesting. Let's see how it goes. I'm also realizing I probably should have started at the bottom here and come down. Oh well. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, that's not bad. I don't mind that at all. Okay, well that's good because I obviously could not undo that. Just give that a little bit of a boost there. So we've got the monthly calendar done, my moving into August prompts, my August reflections to fill out at the end of the month. And then we move right into the weekly overview and the dailies. I'm not going to do anything here. This is quite a ways away. The way that Tess has done her planner is She puts the monthly calendar before the first full week of the month. So because August started on a Tuesday, the beginning of August is still in this July section. That doesn't bother me at all, but that just means that I don't know what I will want this layout to be in a week and a bit, so I'm just going to leave it. Let me put my Post-it back here. Oh, and I guess I have this Post-it to keep now. So I'll keep that here opposite my grid spacing page, and I'll just take that out every month. So there we have my very simple setup for August. My setups have been pretty consistent, which maybe isn't the most exciting to watch in a video form, but it's been helpful to me to learn what's been working and just play around with that. Again, it's hard to believe we're already heading into the end of summer here where I am, at least. It has been very hot. We're in the middle of a heat wave, and I hope that anyone else who is experiencing that weather is able to keep cool and keep safe. I love the fall and I am looking forward to it, but I'm also trying to enjoy the summer while it's here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.